Floyd Cruz here, your life applications officer. Closing out on my George Floyd rant, George Floyd discussion, letting my fumes go off on black folks. This is the last I'm going to talk about it for a while anyway. It's interesting, and it should be interesting to you. They get butthurt when black people talk about black people. And I think black people understand. See, if I've been a miserable soul most of my life, or my grandchildren been miserable souls, or my grandmother has been a miserable soul, every time you say the word white, or you say something involving black people, or a black person gets arrested, or there's too many black people in jail, or a black person got killed, whatever, okay? I would want to listen to some black folks that ain't like me. I would want to listen to some black folks that ain't like me. Not because, okay, I'm insecure in any way as a black person, but because I understand that if I'm having a problem with this and you're not, then we should get together and talk about this. I want to know why you're not as miserable as I am. I want to know why you're not full of rage and anger over George Floyd. I want to know. But see, a lot of black people don't care because they know they shouldn't be in any goddamn rage over George Floyd. Any more than any white person, okay, would go nuts over Tom Cruise. Or some random guy out here, okay, that works for the car dealership. Why, you know, Asian people ain't out there protesting and fighting over, you know, Hung Shong Chong, or whatever his name is, okay? Why Spanish people ain't out here going nuts and acting a fool over some guy named Lopez or Diego or Fernandez or whatever. Okay. It shows there is, and you know, there's a lot of black people out here trying to help black people. And I'm not saying that I'm not, but I understand that I can't as much as I want to, because your attitude is don't talk, give. Don't talk, give. Shut your mouth and put the money on the table, Mr. Cruz. Don't talk. Okay, help me get the house, help me get the car, help me get the neighborhood, help me get all the respirations that the white man ain't helping me get. If you can swim through that, Mr. Cruz, then you can talk to us black people. Only then will we listen to you. But what's going on is there's a spirit of racism that's going on today that's coming from two places. It's coming from two people. It's coming from a group of people. They're systematic, all right. A group of people who want black people to hang themselves. They want you to run down into the river like a flock of pigs and kill yourself. by going off and acting crazy about what you feel is injustice to your race, like you're the only race here other than white people. There's them. And then there's the black people who want racism. They want to know what it's like because they're being taught that everything in their life has been racism, and racism is the reason why they can't get from A to B. It ain't got nothing to do with no car. It ain't got nothing to do with gas. It ain't got nothing to do with education. It ain't got nothing to do with health. It ain't got nothing to do with, overcoming anything and rebuilding and establishing yourself. It's just these white people. All these white people are in our way. If they just get out of our way. Those are racists. If you are in this country and you think that white people need to get out of your way, you are a racist. That's what you are. You are a racist. And black people, there's many black people today, you can't help them because they themselves are racist. They don't like white people. And that is the only thing that makes them feel strong, is them trying not to like white people. And so for you to put your hands on a black man, it doesn't matter whether it's George Floyd, who actually got killed by a white man who he had beef with, whether that was racism or not. Ain't nobody asking that question. Like, nobody asked George Floyd, why did you kill? Nobody asked Derek Chauvin, why did you kill Floyd? Now, we all assume it was racism, but why did you kill him? Because I know in my history, okay, some of the white guys that I've had trouble with, they got a lot of black friends. I mean, they live with a black dude. Some of the white guys I've had trouble with, they got black girlfriends. I don't understand where I can really call them racist. Oh, you say, well, they can be racist and have all that stuff. So can your black behind. So we're even. We're even. Because your black behind can do it too. You can have a white girl and you can say, hey, I want you to be my wife. But then something happened to George Floyd who ain't got a goddamn thing to do with you. Okay? You want to go out here and say, oh, well, these black guys out here rioting, they're just sick and tired. Like, I done heard that about like 8 times this week from the little bit of black people that I tried to really, really, really communicate with. Okay? And the white people they just take tape and put it over their mouth because they know that they figure they figure you on your own cruise. You saying the right things, but you're on your own, bro. Because they know that, they answer questions all the time. Why? Why are these blacks? Why are my black counterparts so angry over other blacks? I don't get angry like that over other whites. And I don't think my Asian neighbors gets angry like that over other Asians. And I know you want to tell yourself you're something special because you get angry. You want to tell yourself you care because you get angry. No, you don't. No, you're being lied to and you're told that you're not racist, but you are racist. Because if you're not racist, a black man should be able to kill your behind just like a black man kill your behind. If a black man want to kill you because y'all had history, y'all used to do security together at a nightclub, like Chauvin and Floyd. Okay? And so, somebody put their knee in somebody's neck. But if it was two black guys, it would have been okay. But because it was a white guy and a black man, okay, nobody asked a single question. That's it. We've had enough. Had enough for what? I don't remember Derek being given the chance to open up his mouth and say, yeah, I hate the nigger. I hate niggers. I mean, I've ran into some racists in my time. The only person they're afraid to say what they feel in front of, they got no reason to hide anything. The only person that they feel that they need to hide it from is the police themselves. And the police know these guys because they have a habit of doing this stuff. And I've told you in other videos of different natures my story. I've told you this. I've told you how I ran into some really racist white people, and this is where I disagree with Jesse Lee Peterson. I love Jesse, but this is where I disagree with him. Racism is a thing, but it is not the problem. Racism is a thing in America. It will be with us forever. It was here long before there ever was black and white. It was here long before slavery. Slavery didn't teach us that racism exists. You need to travel the world and learn the history of the Asian people. You need to travel the world and learn the history of the Jews. You need to travel the world and learn the history of the Germans. You need to travel the world and learn the histories of Europe and how it was settled, and the French, and on and on and on and on. You need to learn, because racism is among us. As surely as the flu has always been among us. Before it was called the flu, it might have been called something else. But it still was the flu. It's just a different name today, that's all. But it's always been here, and it's always going to be here. And if you think that by going out here and putting your hands on your opposers, if that's what they are to you, and why, I don't know why they got to be that all the time, and all of them, but by you going out here and putting your hands and doing damage to the wealth and property and lifestyles of your so-called opposers, okay, if you think that that's fixing something, you're an idiot. Because it didn't fix nothing before slavery ever happened. How do you think you became slaves in the first place? People were already racist towards your black behind before the white folks ever knew you existed. And they look just like you. Moving on. Moving on. Want to talk about my search history here. Candace Owens. Make sure I got this down. Okay. Candace Owens was one video I did this week. She talked about George Floyd. She talked about how George Floyd was a career criminal. Okay, who constantly sold and was always high on cocaine, and he'd been in jail like 6 times and did so many years each time. A month here, 2 years here, 6 years here, 5 years there, you know. The longest prison time he got was when he put that gun, I believe he did actually, maybe, I don't know if that's part of the recent story of when he got arrested, but I think he got out before he gave a counterfeit 20. I think he got out on that one, but he put a gun to a black It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me what color she was. But for y'all, he put a gun to a pregnant black woman's belly and threatened, not only did he threaten to kill her baby within her stomach, but he beat her with a pistol. He pistol whipped her. And I'm sure Derek Chauvin knew this when he made his last arrest on George Floyd. Hey, Chauvin, when you get done putting your knee in his neck, I'm next. I got next. I call next, bro. I'm saying that before the funeral. I'm saying that before the protests and all the mourning. But I'm pretty sure that most of the protesters and most of the rioters didn't care. They didn't know, first of all, neither did they care that George had this track record like this. And you know what? As you go more and more and more in detail, and a lot of blacks will call it a lie because it never comes on the day it happened. It always comes before, as well as the autopsy report and everything else comes after. And one person said, oh, well, George Floyd had enough drugs in his body to kill him without the help of Derek Chauvin. Okay? And it's funny how they haven't mentioned the autopsy report. And it's funny how, again, they haven't let Derek Chauvin say anything. I want that court session to be aired on television. I want it aired on YouTube. I want to see what Derek Chauvin has to say about his relationship with George Floyd. But again, he was a career criminal who was violent. He loved to threaten people, and I heard somebody on YouTube today said, it does not matter. Yes, it does matter. It does not matter what he did wrong. He didn't deserve that. Oh, okay. Let somebody come in your wife's house, or your mama's house, or even your daddy's house, and threaten to kill your daddy, whether they white or black. And let's see if you feel that way then. You ain't gonna give a damn about that knee and the neck problem. You ain't gonna give a damn. Okay? Candace Owens. I like Candace Owens. I don't know if she's in Congress. I think she's in Congress. Don't quote me. But I've never seen her say anything that I can't swallow. I can digest everything she says. I really like her. I am glad to see that there are more and more black people that are waking up, and there's more black people like me, and I'm showing you that in this history. This guy here is, I believe his name is Derek Green, the black guy on my left, right here. Okay. Right here. I think his name is Derek Green. He spoke a lot about, he's another one. I'll have to listen to more of his stuff. But he says Black Lives Matter is not helping black people. I don't need you to tell me that, Derek. I know that. My grandbaby knows that. Okay? I mean, it's not helping anything, man. It's not. Okay? But these are videos you need to watch because they're really, really excellent. I was really blessed to listen to him. You know, here's my boy Jesse Lee Peterson. Black people are useful pawns and no one really loves them, and that's the truth. let me tell you something. I'm going to read here in a minute about why, I wrote these notes from what I remember hearing in these videos. And I'll get to that in a second. But Jesse Lee talks about here, he calls it Rent a Black, where he showed video footage. Matter of fact, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And I'm going to let you, I'm going to give you a taste of this.
That's all this is. They're being used by other blacks and liberal whites. That's what this is all about. And Antifa and all those folks, the abortion people, they use blacks. Allah Akbar people use black people. Whenever you want to promote evil, rent a black. Rent a black. They'll help you. You can't rent them to
I'm going to
help
show
you
you
do
a video
good,
clip.
but you can rent a black to help you do bad, to be evil, promote wrongdoing. They are too happy to do that. And the Democrats, black and white, liberal Democrats, no good people, children of the lie, along with the liberal media, children of the lie, and some right-o Republicans, quiet as it kept. They want the great white hope out. They have been trying to do it for almost 4 years now, and maybe longer, when he was running. But they want him out, come hell or high water. And so all this stuff you see right now with the white cop and the black guy and the white woman in the park and the black guy, that ain't nothing compared to what to come. Because they know they can get the blacks riled up. Oh, they're going to vote for the Democrats. Because they're deceived in believing that the Democrats love them. But they don't. They're being used. Black Democrats, white Democrats, liberal media don't love black people. And right-o Republicans don't love black people. And it's about time, and I can't blame them because it's given to us to love others. They don't have to love us back. You're supposed to love. And there's no love in our country anymore. And unless you're born again, return to the Father, you will never know love. You will never have love. But the blacks are being used. I want to show you this white on black situation. It's really black on white because the black guy was filming the white woman in Central Park. The white woman walking her dog and so with no leash, and the guy started filming her. She overreacted. And
now that story right there, I'm probably going to disagree with him on that because I've heard other people talk about it. I didn't really look at the clip. I just read people talking about it. But a black man telling this woman to put her dog on a leash because her dog isn't, he's not a special needs dog or whatever. He clearly was out to protect her while this man is innocently walking in the park. Okay, yeah, she should put her dog on a leash. And Jesse, this is where I disagree with Jesse on things. Just because black people are offended by some of the things that white people do. Like when white people get on the phone and they call the police and they say, a black guy did this or that, okay, because they don't want you putting them in their place. To me, that is being racial. They're using their racial stereotypes against you. Okay, I believe in that. I don't believe that that's systematic, as a lot of y'all believe, but I do believe people use their stereotypes against you because they know there's more power in the stereotypes against black people than there is with anybody believing that black people can do good, which, this is where you hate Leroy Cruz, which is y'all's fault. Because y'all keep carrying on and acting like you are what people, because these stereotypes come from someplace. Okay? These stereotypes come from somewhere. They don't just boil off somebody's head when they look at you and they see brown skin. No, these stereotypes come from a history of what people are doing. Okay? But at the same time, White people should know this is 2020. They should know by now. You don't judge people by stereotypes about them. You judge them by the truth about them. And in order for you to know the truth, you have to get this, not just listen to them, but observe and watch them. Take note, okay? That's how you know people. You don't know people just by taking their word for it. You watch them and observe, okay?
And now she's lost her job, according to the report. Her life had been destroyed. There was nothing happened. They didn't fight one another. They didn't hurt one another. Two human beings arguing. That's all happened. The cop went there. Oh, y'all just had an argument? You guys didn't hurt each other? All right, no problem, bye. But the blacks and the liberal whites are trying to make that a big deal.
Wait a minute.
Because
Is
they
that
want
the
to
dog?
destroy whites and they want the Republican president out, President Trump. So let me show you the part.
Maybe the black guy was wrong. I have to look
Here
at
we
the
go.
story.
You weren't looking for it all the time? You were just sitting there hearing me introduce it.
I thought you were talking about the officer one. I had that one ready.
Oh, the officer who wasn't in the part, man.
He black.
What a man.
Okay.
I took a long time to introduce it because Joel didn't know I was going to do it. And I'm thinking he could get it while I'm introducing it. And then he would start playing it, but now he's playing it while I'm talking. Are you on pot? All right.
That's my bad, y'all. Sorry.
Okay, I want you to pay attention. Nothing happened at the park. Two human beings came together. They had an argument. That's all happened. And they're trying to make that racism. White people hate black.
I want to get to the part. This is too long. I want to get to the part where he showed a clip of the white guy asking black guys to go riot. Okay. I want to see where that's at. Let's see here.
So, when I was growing up, black people were not out of control like this
Hold on a second. Let me-
because the man was
let
in
me pause
charge.
this.
Family hurt. It's all an act.
I mean, it was 8 minutes. It's in many ways worse than Eric Garner because they got their knee on his neck and he is begging, pleading. Not 1 minute, not 2 minutes, not 3 minutes, but 8 minutes begging them to let him breathe. And so now we can't breathe again in 2020.
You can still see a vast crowd here at the intersection of East 38th Street and Chicago Avenue, right outside the Cup Foods location where that arrest happened with George Floyd, where he potentially took his final breaths.
And so you see all the protests out there, right? Really, it's just all an act. In Chicago, the same weekend, this past weekend, 10 people dead. Over 40 people wounded, shot, or wounded in one form or another in Chicago. Memorial Day weekend. No films, no videos, no nothing. Those lives didn't matter. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, I can't breathe. None of that. It's all an act. Joel pull up this phony mayor of Minneapolis, trying to act like he couldn't sleep in it. That man slept like a virgin. So in Minneapolis, so let me tell you what happened. So this incident happened in the park, right? And they tried to make that be a big deal. Gail, open friend, crying, carrying on fake. The mayor of Minneapolis crying. He couldn't even cry. He tried to make himself cry. He couldn't even squeeze out a tear.
I still couldn't believe that's the mayor.
He was faking it. That man ain't missed no sleep. He's in Minneapolis. Guys do this stuff and it happens so they can use it to push evil. So watch this in Minneapolis.
I'm breathing the red. I cannot breathe.
You just a grown tough guy. Tough guy, huh? Say he's tough guy. He's not even resisting the rest, bro.
His whole nose.
Follow him.
Why you just sitting there? He ain't doing nothing else. Put him in the car. And so the blacks and the Antifa, Oprah friend Gail, they're all carrying on over this, right?
Once again, I say, thank goodness that there's videotape. You know, I think as the daughter of a black man and the mother of a black man, this is really too much for me today. I'm still rattled by that last story. It feels to me like an open season, and that it's just not sometimes a safe place to be in this country for black men, and today is too much for me.
I'm rattled right now. This black white woman just talking about an African man threatening me. Oh my Lord, I just can't help it. Open season. And then I'm thinking about some white man got his knee on a black man's neck. Oh Lord, I'm just rattled right now. Yeah, excuse me for wanting to cry. And then maybe this will make up for what I said about Kobe. The question I asked about Kobe, and the black people like me now. If I give you this drama on TV. Y'all see me crying, blacks, don't you? And Antifa and all those folks, the abortion people, they use blacks. Allah Akbar people use black people. So,
Must have the wrong video.
when I was growing up, black people were not out of control like this.
Okay, I made a mistake. Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay. Made a mistake there. Let me say it again. I couldn't find what I was looking for in that video. There's a video, I watch a lot of Jesse Lee Peterson stuff. There's a clip in the video where, in one of these videos, I done watched probably close to 10 Jesse Lee Peterson's videos, probably in a little bit over a week. I really, watch a lot of his material, not because I agree with everything he says, but because I agree with most of what he says. I don't agree that there is no racism. I believe racism is a social construct. I believe racism is an attitude. The difference between today and yesterday is racism ruled black people. It ruled our government. Racism was in our government. It's what the people wanted. They did not want to free the slaves, but how did the slaves get free though? Please don't tell me that white people, the abolitionists, helped set the slaves free. And then, please don't tell me that there were white people in the civil rights movement on the side of the blacks. Please don't tell me that. You see? And these young people today breaking windows, throwing bricks through windows and setting fires to churches and police stations and blowing up police cars, blah, 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 blah. They really don't care about that. I do. I care about that stuff. When white people do good things for me, I count my blessings. I counted them when I was a kid, and I still count them blessings today. And my mom taught me, my black mama taught me how to do that. Okay? It don't mean that going down on the black man, as some of y'all would put it. That don't make me an Uncle Tom, but I count my blessings. I count my blessings. And I don't have a whole lot of Asian people in my life, okay, doing great things for me. They can barely speak, let alone do something great for me. The cute little Asian lady at Giant Eagle yesterday was very sweet. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why she got a job at Giant Eagle, She wanted me to know she was saying hi. She's like, "Excuse me, sir. Hi." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. How you doing, ma'am? How you doing?" And then I made her laugh. Oh, God. Me making a pretty face Asian girl laugh. Oh, goodness. I made her laugh because I says, "Do I have to go back down there to use my card?" Okay. I went all the way down there. I stuck my card out. I says, "Way down here, huh?" I said, "This is way longer than 6 feet." this is way longer. This is too much social distancing right here. And she blushed and laughed. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. You know, but anyhow, whew, too hot to talk about. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. You know, I don't judge them or anything like that. I'm just saying that white people have adapted to black people because they feel that that is their apology. You say, oh, well, we need them to get down on one knee and apologize and all this stuff, and when is it going to stop? Well, a lot of them, every day I see them, it looks like they're trying to stop. Because they, you know, when I walk into the restaurant, there's always some white lady or some white man that goes out of their way. They go out of their way to speak. They go out of their way to make sure your food is done right. They go out of the way to make sure you get your items on time. They go out of their way to you know what I mean? I've had cops go out of their way for me. Especially when they know the guy that's racist, so to speak. He's racist. I remember one time, a guy went off on me one time, and the cops was like, did he say something racist? And I says, I didn't see that come out of his mouth, sir. But they felt he was racist, and they had run-ins with him where he did actually call somebody else in the past the N-word. Now, this guy was a career hater. I don't know if I would call him a criminal because he never went to jail for anything. But he was a career hater. He hated everybody. And why is it like you go to these segregated towns and when you find somebody that you would call racist, all the white people in the town don't like him. He ain't got no white friends. It's always the racist ones that don't have no friends. Just like right over here, probably about 30 minutes away from here in a town called Jeanette. Well, I'd say about 30, 40 minutes from here. Me and my ex-wife, we did some ministry over there one time, and they got skinheads. They got a skinhead gang that runs in the neighborhood. Don't nobody like them. Black people ain't afraid of them. I have asked black people about them. I've asked white people about them. You know, white people have nothing good to say about these people. Okay? That lets you know that all white people don't think alike. Even on their day off. Even on their day off, they don't think alike. Moving on. This one here was really good. I'm going to let you get a little bit of sound bite on this one. If I'm still recording. Okay. Let you get a sound bite on this one.
Social media that you helped me. I don't care. I'm so privileged. I live in a 5-acre home with 5 floors and a dad and a mom who loves me and grandparents who gave me. I don't care. I don't care. What I do want you to. Today's topic, white guilt. Man, I didn't check my feed for a couple of days and I came back and there was all these posts like, hey, white people, we see you. If you're not posting about this, you're the problem. We've seen all kinds of weird posts like that. I don't think you encourage people to change their mindset and their behaviors by shaming them. And if you do live in a position of privilege, it's not by whining about it and self-flagellating on social media that you help me. I don't care. I'm so privileged. I live in a 5-acre home with 5 floors and a dad and a mom who loves me and grandparents who gave me. I don't care. I don't care. What I do want you to do, however, is I want you to use that position, if you can, to help others. If you understand that you got a lot of money and that you care about these social issues, then you find ways to donate, right? I'm not going to tell you have to do it. I'm not going to tell you what to do with that stuff. But if you want to and you do have those positions, these are things that you can do. Don't moan about your privilege. Don't try to get rid of it. If you live in a position of privilege, you help others. The same way I'm an able-bodied person. If I see someone in a wheelchair and they can't get somewhere, I'm going to help them. You don't cut off your own legs to be like, I understand you black. That's a waste of time.
The fact that you have legs.
Nobody cares. I don't like going on my social media and watching white people whine about how good they have it in some cases. It's cringy. Stop. When this comes out, I understand that you want to act, and that, you know, especially black folks, they want to be able to do stuff. They want to encourage more change, and so they're like, white people, start listening. It's not by screaming at people that you get them to understand. You act and you do what you need to do for you. But you know, you can't force people to change their ways. People are not going to start listening because you tell them to listen. They're going to start listening because you're saying powerful things. So go be the change that you want to see in the world. And now for white people who want to get involved and do feel some type of way but don't know how, or for other minorities or other groups who just want to listen, take time to understand, take time to self-reflect. That's the main thing, right? When the Me Too stuff jumped off, right, and there was some crazy things happening, me as a man, it took time for me to reflect and understand, like, hey, maybe that stuff in the way I engage with other people isn't the most appropriate, and maybe I can do better with that, you know? And maybe I can be cognizant of the fact that women do live under certain fears at night when they're walking home alone. Take time to try to understand. Basically, what it boils down to is try to be a really good neighbor. It's the best way I could define it. Just a quick note, these videos, these topics that we're covering, they're going to be demonetized. And when they get demonetized, that means it's harder for people to view them because YouTube, the algorithm affects it differently. So if you want to be able to push this message out to more people, you want more people to see this discussion, please start the video, hit the like button, make sure that everyone can see this so that...
Very, very, very good. You can listen to that video there too. White guilt is useless. Please stop. I agree 100%, and I don't care. I don't care about your white privilege. I don't care about if you got it better than me, because I understand that if I want what you got, I can do the same thing that you did to get it. And that doesn't include having white parents, okay? That doesn't include, you know what I'm saying, maybe that worked. And don't get me wrong, I do believe in racial profiling. That's another thing that Jesse Lee and I might disagree with. I do believe in racial profiling, where they're used back in the day when I first tried to get jobs back in the 80s, people would snitch. Even white people would snitch on some of these companies, and they would tell me, some of these companies that I apply for, like, brother, I ain't trying to hate, but there ain't a single black person working in that place. There ain't even a black janitor. I've seen people go in there to get housekeeping jobs, bro, and get turned down. And them people in there, they're like really uppity up, and they really, really look down on everybody, blah, 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 you know. And they would tell me stuff like that, you know. One company right over here in Monroeville section of Pittsburgh. Right there, you know, Beatty Street, down under where all the industrial plants are and stuff like that. Little company down there where the, you know, small industrial company where everybody wears, you know, all the women in there showing their legs, you know. Every woman in there wears a short skirt, you know what I mean? It's really uppity up there. Every woman's skirt's way up there, and this was way back then, you know. You know, and all the men got a hard hat on, only the women get to dress up, you know. But couldn't get a job in there, and after trying 3 times, you know, I've heard from blacks and whites why I couldn't. I do believe in racial profiling. It doesn't mean that everything is racial profile, but a lot of them companies today are like cut down. You know, even Allegheny Ludlam out in my old neck of the woods, okay, which is far away from the inner city. They, little bit of affirmative action going on there. I don't agree with affirmative action, but it does help them. For them, it's to make sure that black people that have families are given, you know, ample time to learn and to, you know, come up with the credentials that they need, whatever. You know, they don't go first come basis with the application interview process. What they do is they do a thing where they, if you're on a fixed income and you have a family, they put families first. And a lot of black folks got a lot of kids. and you waltz up in there and say, oh, I live with my girlfriend, we got 6 kids, you know, your application is probably going to automatically pass, but that doesn't mean they'll keep you. A lot of black people come in there and they come and go because it's not a matter of just, you know, getting the job, but it's a matter of being able to do the job, okay? But I do believe in racial profiling. I don't call that racism. I call exactly what I just called it, racial profiling. Okay? You need to learn what racism is. This one here, I'm not going to go into, forget his name, Anthony Brian Logan. I just started subscribing to his channel. He talked about David Chappelle. David Chappelle, look, all these black comedians are funny, but I don't get into any of them. I would never pay a red cent other than whatever ratings YouTube is getting for me watching their stuff. But and I can't even follow any of them. Like I tried to follow Ari Spears, he's nasty. I try to follow Kevin Hart, he gets nasty, and he does things that ain't funny anymore. You know, I try to follow these guys. If I followed anybody and was never disappointed, it was Bill Cosby. Okay. Sorry about that. I couldn't follow Eddie Murphy. Too disappointing. Richard Pryor ain't as bad as the newer guys today. I followed some of his stuff the other day that I never knew that he did, but it was funny, you know. But can't follow them all. But Dave Chappelle, you suck, man. You really do, man. You need, you know, I'm totally lost about these wealthy people. And they'll get on stage and let you know how wealthy they are. And then they'll turn around and talk about, oh, the white people that shouldn't be living in their neighborhood because, oh, they got white privilege because they live in their neighborhood and they live in a, you know, $100,000 house or something. You know, come on, man. You know, I can't kick it with you, man. This guy here, I like him. His name is Young Ripper 59. I like him. I just subscribed to his channel, I believe, where I just been listening to a lot of his content this week. Real good stuff, real good stuff. Here's another one. I want you to hear a little bit of soundbite to this. I want you to hear this.
It's done. It's almost like it's a trait passed on for generations in our culture, and it largely stems from the oppression that blacks have.
All right.
I think the assumption is that because I'm black, I'm supposed to obsess over racism, and by obsession, I mean that, you know, this sort of idea that I'm supposed to always talk about it, I'm supposed to call it out, but I'm also supposed to go out of my way to look for it and use my platform to denounce it. And the answer is always going to be no. I'll never do that, and here's why. Growing up a leftist, that was what was done. It's almost like it's a trait passed on for generations in our culture, and it largely stems from the oppression that blacks have historically dealt with in this country. So it's supposed to put us on the defense. It seems like people simply want to cling to this idea that being black in America is incredibly difficult, and I'm supposed to make you feel bad about it, or as if you owe me something. Now, I'm no longer a leftist, and if I wanted to sit here spending so much time worrying about racism, I would have never left the left. Now, learning about economics and the history of black folks in America was what led me to become a libertarian, realizing that the state has been the vehicle of black oppression since they arrived on the slave boats, made this very easy. From slave codes to black codes, Jim Crow laws, and digging into some of the Supreme Court cases such as Plessy versus Ferguson, it's easy to see that the state has been the primary tool of the racists against black folks, and it still is to this day. But one of the things that really got me re-examining my approach to racism was studying the difference between particular civil rights activists and black leaders in this country. Often we are put under this impression that
I want to say real quickly here that I totally agree with him there. And I know what he said because I watched all these videos. He goes on to talk about the difference between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I did not know, because I don't get into Malcolm X because of his battle with the other Muslims, and I don't get into Muslims. I don't listen to really what they have to say, but maybe I'll download some Malcolm X quotes and listen to some of the stuff he had to say, because this guy listened to Malcolm X and versed him to Martin Luther, wait a minute, what's his name? MLK Jr., okay? Martin Luther King Jr., okay? And he, he realized that, Martin Luther King was one of the best black leaders we've ever had. He's the best black leader that I've ever looked up to. But he said some things where Martin Luther King did believe in like respirations and believed in like trying to downplay the white community in order to help the white community rise up, or downplay the white community to help the black community rise up. I didn't know that. I need to listen to more Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I need to listen to more of both of them. What else I got here? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's where I'm going to end. Everybody's talking about Dave Chappelle. I don't give a rat's behind. What I do want to share with you here is just my ending remarks about everything I've said in this video. Why am I not obsessed with racism? Why am I not angry and a victim of racism? I don't know. Probably because, as I said in the last video, you're welcome to go to the last two videos that I did about my relationships with white people. Me comparing the ghetto to the better neighborhoods that I've lived in. Me getting to know the different areas of black people and the different areas of white people and so forth like that. I don't think black people are spending enough time getting to know people outside of their own depression, whatever that depression is. I'm going to say it again. I don't think black people are getting to know enough black people or white people that are outside their own depression, okay? But if you rise, you'll find out that other black people rose with you. And then you'll not only find that out, but you'll find out that there's white people that are glad to see you get up there. They'll even reach out a hand and help you get up there. I've learned this in my life, okay, that wherever there's a cold-hearted white man that wants to hold on to the Jim Crow garbage, okay, there's a brother or a cousin or a wife or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, standing right there that disagrees with him or her. And is going to reach it, and regardless of their marriage or whatever, their blood relationship, they're going to reach out and pull you up because they ain't getting into that crap. You know what I mean? They don't see a problem, okay? And you got to understand that, okay? To say that a white man can't touch a black man without it being called racism is racist. To say that a white man can't touch a black man without it being called racism is itself racism. And there's a lot of black people in this country that are racist, and they're upset because they feel the white people are beating them at it. It ain't got nothing to do with George Floyd. It ain't got nothing to do with systematic killings of thousands of black men that didn't deserve to be killed or put in prison. Okay, it's got to do with you being racist, and you're just upset because white people have not been conquered by your racism. They're still so-called privileged and still on the top, even though you're racist, because your racism. And when black people say stuff like, well, it's impossible for a black man to be racist. I don't have any, racism takes power. What power do I have to be racist? Okay, you are a racist. Because you shouldn't care if you're not racist. When you're not racist, it takes you 2 seconds to get on the subject and fly back off of it. Okay? But to hang on that subject and bring that subject up when ain't nobody else bringing it up, you are a racist. And that includes blacks and whites. Okay? I love Jesse Lee, like I said, but I disagree with Jesse. Racism is a thing among many blacks and whites, but not the biggest evil. Racism is a thing, Jesse, among many blacks and many whites, but not the biggest evil. It's not the biggest problem. It might have been back in, Martin Luther King's time. It's not today. Because today we got enough whites on our sides. We got different cultures of black people, different cultures of white people, different cultures of every culture. Okay? There's somebody on our side. Wherever we go, we have our entrymen right next to us. If we go up, somebody's up there with us. If we go down, there's hundreds of thousands of people down there with us. If we go left or right, there's people there with us. Okay, and they're black and white. They're not just black, they're black and white. They're black, white, Spanish, Asian, you name it. They're there. A little bit of Asian, but they're there too, okay? And it doesn't deserve the rage and the civil unrest that we give it, okay? That's all I'm saying about racism. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist like you think it exists. Yes, there are people out there that don't want anybody but white people to be in this country. It's not about, first of all, it's not about black people. It's about any race that just wants this race to be about them. They want to be superior. You got Muslim culture coming into this country that's more racist than white people because they just want to control the white people and make white people, they just want to come in here and impregnate our white women and make them have Muslim children, okay? And they want to run this country. They want to come in here and put their seed in all of our women, and they just want to take over and make this under Sharia law and make all this their power and their structure. And that is the truth. If you don't believe that, you need to read. You need to look up the Islamic Brotherhood. You need to look up ISIS. You need to listen to what some of these protesters have to say, okay, that are protesting that garbage, okay? You need to pay attention. Most of y'all sleep, so y'all don't know this stuff, but you need to listen. Beware. There are 3 kinds of white people. One, there's whites who think you are forever incapable, so they will get down on one knee, okay, whatever makes you think you have power, okay? Just because somebody gets down on one knee, that does not mean that they're not racist. That does not mean that they give a shit, okay? All right? That getting down on one knee and them 2 young men, Abe and the Preach, they were talking about that too in one of their videos, including that one, about getting down on one knee don't mean squat, and it doesn't, okay? People will get down on one knee, okay? And anyone that would get down on one knee so that you can hear, what you want to hear, make you think whatever you want to vaguely think, I don't trust a person like that. Okay? I asked one of my white friends that I work with just the other day. I says, would you get down on one knee if some black person stopped you and asked you to get down on one knee and apologize for your white privilege? He said, I don't think I could do that. I says, now there's a white man that I can trust. Okay? It's totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. And any person who would have you do that, whether they are white or black, okay, they deserve to be having their funeral next after George Floyd's funeral was over, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need people like that in this country. Okay? 2, there are whites who are stereotypical, and that's a lot of whites there. Okay? I say a lot of whites are stereotypical of various races and judge each by their typical behavior. Okay? So I know whites who judge black people one way, they judge Asians another way. They can tell you what's wrong with blacks. They can tell you what's wrong with Asians. They can tell you what's wrong with Spanish people. They can tell you what's wrong with Indians. They can tell you what's wrong with Native Americans. But they cannot tell you, what they can't tell you, though, is what's wrong with white people. I meet white people like that all the time. Okay? I don't call that racism. I call that a stereotype. They're stereotypical of everybody but themselves, okay? And then when they meet whites who do stuff that, that's where that term white trash came from. Because you're doing something that we would expect the black people to do. So that makes you, no, you don't understand. That doesn't come from being black or white. That comes from being a person of the street. That comes from being a person that's either had a bad upbringing or is socially conditioned the wrong way, okay? And then 3, there are whites who understand truly and have truly evolved. They just wish you blacks would evolve with them. And I know a lot of people who want me to evolve with them, and they've been there to help me. Okay? Okay? Yes, there are racists out there, but not just against blacks, but every person that is different than them. And this includes all races. Okay, yes, there's racists out there who, there's people out there who are racist. But they're racist against everybody. This is where black people fail. If someone's racist, they're racist against everybody but themselves. Okay? Or their own kind. Okay? There's no races out there. Well, I like Asian, I like Spanish. I just don't like blacks. I got a problem with these black people. That's bull crap. That's a lie. There's no such thing. Okay? I can go out here and show you. You talk about racism, I can go out here and have a talk, okay, with some of the white people I know that I don't like, that I don't get along with. And I'll tell you right now, okay, I asked them about Spanish people. They're going to get off of me and they're going to start really hating on the Spanish people. I asked them something about Asian people. They're going to get off of me and start really hating on the Asian people, okay? Because there's people out there who really, really, really hate them, okay? And they hate them more than they hate blacks, okay? And then I'm going to add 4. Yes, there are races out there, not just against blacks, but every person that is different than them. This includes all races, okay? So, in closing, equality. Equality is earned, not given freely. How are you equal in college? Oh, by everybody learning the same things and getting, everybody following the class like they should to. How are you equal at work? By everybody obeying the policies and procedures and doing the best to work up the corporate ladder and get to the top, or everybody working hard so that other people don't have to do extra work to clean up your mess. Okay? That's how we're equal. When everybody gets to work on time, that's equality. But when you got this one guy that gets to come in late and he thinks that, oh, you ain't going to tell me nothing about me being late, that's not equality. That's everybody putting Pampers and giving milk to a jackass, okay? Bring your ass to work just like everybody else, and then you can worry about equality, okay? Can a person kill a person for a non-racial reason? Okay? Yes, he can. Like I said, nobody's asking Derek Chauvin why he actually killed Floyd or George Floyd. Nobody's asking that. Why did he do it? Nobody's asking that question. Okay? So there you have it, folks. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I'm going to call this George Floyd. I had a name for it. I forgot what I'll call it, but thank you for watching. D-Roy Cruz here, your Life Applications Officer. Talk to you soon with more, maybe in 5 days or less. Till then, God bless you. Peace out.